welcome to Inside the Mind of, a podcast where I dive deeper into the minds of some of my favorite people and people who inspire me in the wrestling community. I am your host with the mostest, Katie Kinsey Bay, and joined with me today, she is a mom to a beautiful baby girl, Precious Bean, the wife of the warden. I'm, of course, talking about his better half, Miss Cait Ridder. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm excited and a little bit nervous. So,
Listen, no reason to be nervous. It's literally just going to be chatting, and I just have, questions I kind of am asking.
all right. I'm ready.
Nothing too bad.
Okay.
I promise. I would never do that to you. Because we've met.
Oh, I know. We have in person.
I know. It was a great time.
It was a great time. It was a really good day too. It was a nice day.
Oh my god. I don't think we could have asked for a better day.
No. And I hadn't been in ABP and I had to have been like 20.
Damn.
So it had been a while. It had been a while.
It was a nice day. So. Breeze was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh yeah, by
Ferris
the lake
wheel.
it's always like that. Ferris wheel was so much taller than I remember it being, but it was so cool. It was really nice. I love the Chicago skyline. Like literally, it is my favorite skyline, no matter what city I've been to.
I
So,
I mean, all I learned from that trip is that I just have to come back to Chicago.
oh yeah, there's way too much shit to do there in one trip. Way too much.
I feel like I did nothing compared to what I could have done.
There's a lot.
There was a lot.
You can't fit it in one. There's still places that I haven't been into in the city, and I live here. So like,
So what I'm hearing is next time we go somewhere and he stays home.
yeah, yeah, and they do like, I mean, you can do ghost tours in like October. Yeah, we did. Well, we didn't really do like a ghost tour, but it was we made our own ghost tour and went to different like haunted places in the city. It was me and my mom. So like, but we went to this one bar. And my hair was red at the time, and there was a ghost that was supposed to be like that would play with like redheads' hairs and stuff like that. So my mom's like, "Yeah, let's go there," and I was like, "Oh, thanks. I'm just the sacrificial lamb, I guess. Thank you." So,
I think the
but
first time I went to Chicago, we did me and my friends went. We did a walking tour. It was it was Ghosts and Gangsters, which
oh,
I
nice.
love that shit. I love me some ghosts. Love me learn about gangsters, old timey mobster stuff like that. I
Yeah.
love that shit. But it was November. It was cold as hell. We were by the river. I was like, I'm going to freeze
Mhm.
to death out here. I didn't sign up for
Yeah.
this.
No, November by the lake. No, don't recommend ever. Never. Nope. I'm good.
Everyone listening, watching,
Mm-mm.
don't do it.
It's cold. They call it the Windy City for a reason. It's fucking cold.
They do
That wind off the lake is hard in
nasty.
the winter. Oh,
This
it's
shit
hard. Yeah.
nasty. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No, not
No,
again.
thank you.
I like to come in the summertime when it's nice out and there's a breeze.
Yeah. Spring, fall, early fall, summer. Summer is great in the city. It gets really hot out here. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's awesome in the city.
so I'll have to figure out when I gotta come back.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
make it a whole thing. It'll be great. We'll do another little
Absolutely.
family outing.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to find another place to do some like family stuff at. It'll be great.
Family activities.
Mm-hmm.
So before I got to meet you, the last time we did something like this was the 5 year show for Smacking It Raw. Um,
Yes.
and obviously it was just me and you, the girlies, of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Mm-hmm.
The first
Yeah.
female uh, guest host on the show, obviously you. And
Yep.
then me, who's basically just become.
Yeah. Actual podcaster. I just got roped into shit. So,
Well, let's talk about that. So, how did you even. Because obviously Matt has this.
right. Well, like, I mean, obviously he's my husband. So, like, um, this just comes along with him. So like, and I remember we would go to parties with our friends and he would be talking about doing a podcast like this for years before it even got started. And he finally, Travis had gotten his whole Creatia World podcast umbrella thing going, and Matt like begged with Travis to get like just let me in, let me in. So like once he finally did, him and Eric started the podcast, and then it just snowballed, and it's still very strange that people from all over the world want to do a podcast with Matt because like it's Matt. It's weird to me. It's weird. Like I don't know.
I get it though. Like if I tell people, "Oh yeah, I have a wrestling podcast," I always get the weird look of like, wrestling's fake, right? And I'm like, yeah, I fucking know. And then it's like you podcast, like how's that a thing? And then that becomes a whole conversation.
Yeah. Dude, it's super long. Although I love doing it because like I'll always be out with my friend and like somebody will mention wrestling in some way, shape, or form. I'm like, oh, do you watch it? Do you watch wrestling? They're like, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, my husband has a podcast. You should watch it. Check it out. It's on Pornhub. Like, check that out.
And that alone is a great conversation starter.
I think that shit's hilarious. And like he had asked me, he's like, "Do you mind if we put the podcast on Pornhub?" I'm like, "Fuck no, that's hilarious. That's the funniest thing ever." And the best part about it is my mom is the intro.
I know.
Like, so like when he first started putting the podcast on Pornhub, it was like right before Thanksgiving. So he's sitting across the table from my brother at Thanksgiving. He's like, "I put your mom on Pornhub." Like, I fucking died laughing. I loved it. It was the best. It was so funny.
That's like
my mom gets a kick out of it too. Like she thinks it's funny.
I think it's the intro alone. Like that part is it's literally so iconic now.
It's a true story.
I know. I think he told me about it.
She picked us up from the airport and she was talking about listening to the podcast or something. And she's like, "Yeah, I tell all my friends to smack it raw." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking God, Mom. That's not what the thing is, but now we have to record that because that's hilarious." And that recording took place at Thanksgiving.
See, it's all full circle. It all comes together.
Yeah. It's just I love it. I think it's hilarious.
A great story. Like that's you really can't write that. Like that is just pieces coming together so perfectly, and the fact that she just like kind of said it when she was picking you guys up. And then he was just like, "Oh, well, I need this," and then had to record it. And at Thanksgiving, savage.
Yeah. She says shit like that all the time. I think there was like a halftime show and Pitbull was on it. And she was like, "Oh, look, it's Bulldog." Mom.
It's Bulldog.
Not his name. You're so close. You're so close.
She actually kind of was.
Like you're like in the breed family, but right like there. Just a little to the left. Like, so that's where I get all my goofy ass shit from.
Well, I mean, it makes you great.
It makes me funny,
Exactly.
I take it, and I don't even care. Like Matt had posted something yesterday on Facebook, like a memory where we were talking about like what kind of father he'd be, and I told him I was like, "Yeah, I think you'd be like a Ted Bundy kind of guy." Thinking Al Bundy.
Oh, okay. I was like, "Oh my God."
So now he reposts it every year. It's been like 4 years now. So every year I get reminded of how I switched the fucking names.
I mean, same last name, typical white
it was
man
close.
First name.
It's short. Yeah, I mean,
you did your best.
I did.
They're both famous. Different reasons.
It was funny.
But
yeah. I mean, one's real, one's not.
True. Big true.
Big true.
So when was the first time you kind of had to step up and be on the podcast with Matt? Because I know you've been on a few times when it was just you and him.
I don't even know. It was probably more so when he didn't really have that big of a network.
Okay.
He didn't really have a network. And like would probably be scheduling with Travis or Eric or something like that, where he just didn't want to sit and talk to himself on his computer. And I was like, yeah, please don't do that because that's definitely not entertaining at all. Yeah, it was probably just one of those where he was like, "Hey, I need you to hop on," or "Hey, did you watch?" And I was like, maybe not really. But that's when we came up with this segment, Not Good Enough for Cait, where I would just fast forward through parts of the segments that I was like, meh, not interested. So, and at one, I remember one show where it was like, so basically the entire show, and I was like, yeah, kind of.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't interested, dude.
That's fair.
Although he was telling me, what's because there's a pay per view on tonight, right?
Extreme Rules, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was telling me about that one, and I can't remember what the match was, but I was like, that sounds pretty good. But yeah, I pretty much just watch the pay per views now.
So, that was something else I was going to ask you, is because you were watching for a while, and then you stopped, and then, like, now you're kind of back in, but like you said, it's mainly only, like, pay-per-views. So, when did you,
Yeah.
like, stop watching, I guess?
I know exactly when I stopped. It was when Becky came back and she wasn't the man.
Oh,
And she was
wow.
Hollywood Bex, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm done with this now. I was really over Roman Reigns' bullshit for a long time.
That's fair.
And Becky the man was like, I was pumped for her. Like, I would fucking watch anything. That was my fucking stone cold, you know? Like, so, and like, even that whole moment where she got punched in the face by Nia Jackson, she's standing at the top of the arena with like, fucking iconic,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely iconic. And then she comes back and you're what, like a Ric Flair ripoff? Pretty much like, no, I'm good. Checking out. See you later. So, yeah, that was pretty much it.
I could see that, though, like, because the man, like you said, like, that shot of her, like,
Mm-hmm.
top of the steps, arms out, broken nose, bloodied, is like one of the most
Yeah.
modern, like, iconic modern day shots in wrestling in general.
And for it to be a woman too is just incredible. And like
Jared.
growing up, I watched wrestling when I was younger too. And growing up, like I was more of a tomboy kind of girl. So all of the like bikini, like bullshit, girly girl type of shit, I was like not into. And then China was like
Mm-hmm.
dope. She was strong as fuck. She was hanging out with the boys. Like that was my role model. And then, you know, I petered off with wrestling and shit. And I started using wrestling moves on my brother. And my mom was like, let's not do that. We're not watching wrestling anymore. So, but yeah, so like it was reminiscent of when I was growing up and China came out and I was gung ho feminist, like badass women kind of thing. And I fucking loved it. I loved it. And I'm so pissed that they didn't continue it when she came back. So pissed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did kind of somewhat tease it because she's gone again because she hurt her shoulder, but they did kind
Mm-hmm.
of tease it that she might be the man when she comes
I
back.
fucking hope so. I fucking hope so because that shit was gold.
It really
Gold.
was. She
Like,
became
yeah.
like just this the biggest baby face in the company. Her being the man got the women the main event of Mania that year.
Yeah.
Like it.
Because, and it was such, and it wasn't even just like, because when the Bellas did like the whole, I, I forget what they called it, but like the women movement kind of thing and
Mm-hmm.
giving women more time for wrestling and stuff, it was great, but it was cheesy.
Yeah.
You know, it was manufactured. It wasn't like the crowd was amping for more women and longer matches for women. The Man and Alexa Bliss did that. They turned the whole women's, you know, roster into something to watch, and they fucked it all.
I.
Like,
Yeah. It's just like a. I.
you had it. You fucking had it, and you just, you know.
You said, oh, just
So
kidding.
yeah, and I know that they go through cycles with this shit, so I'm sure that they'll get back to like a great, you know, empowering era kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good for right now.
I,
So
I will say, the pay per view tonight, there's gonna be some bangers on there. So
good, good.
this is like the first time in so long the Extreme Rules like pay per view. It's all Extreme Rules types matches. Like
Good.
it's not just
Good.
a normal singles match. Like everything has a stipulation, which
Right.
you kind of need for this type of pay-per-view. Except it was like last year, 2 years ago, there was one Extreme Rules match and the rest were like normal matches. Everyone was just like,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that one where I was like, that was kind of stupid.
yeah, like, guys,
What was the point?
can't name it that and not
Right?
do anything.
You gotta kind of get a kendo stick out or some shit. Like, let's go.
A chair. They use the steps.
Something. Anything.
Rip off the
Bag
turnbuckle.
attacks. Well, let's do it. Like, shit.
Anything. But I understand that though, and like China was like one of my favorites growing up too. Like I caught like the tail end of everything because I was very small. But she really helped basically show that yeah, there are women who are badass and stronger than some of the men. Like there are now. Like Bianca's probably the strongest woman or person on that roster.
Right.
Man, woman, child. Like she's one of the most talented people. And like I was saying the same thing about Naomi too.
She's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, they're both great. They are both great. They always put on good matches. But like their storylines just aren't enough for me to like.
I get it.
You know.
I get it.
They
100%.
gotta go hand in hand. They gotta go hand in hand. And like they can be great, but they can just meh. You know.
It's a lot of the time. It's like you have this fantastic in-ring worker, and like they're great on the mic, and like their character's great. But then if they don't have a good storyline or something to like compel you, then you don't really want to watch.
Or even if they do have a great storyline and they just don't, like the crowd just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like you can have a great storyline and it not do anything.
Yeah.
It's like the internet with fucking viral like videos. It could be like something profound one day and then the next day it's a cat licking its ass. Like you never fucking know.
That's honestly very true. And with like wrestling fans in general, they're so fucking fickle. Like it's terrible. Like I went to Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago. It was right after I got back from Chicago. It was the day after I got back from Chicago.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was a great time. It was a great weekend. I was having a blast. Yeah. But like in my section, I wore like an Alexa Bliss shirt because I was like, Bliss will be on the show, you know, because it was like
whatever.
It was a good time. And then the majority of the men in my section, they found out the women were main eventing. They all left before the main event. They were just constantly talking shit about the women, and then I was just like sitting there dumbfounded because I went by myself. I'm like one of the only women in this section for a few rows, and it's just disgusting.
Dude, I fucking hate this place so much. Like I don't understand. Like, if you can't get pussy, just say that. Like, why do you gotta bitch about everything? Like, I don't. Why do you hate women so much? Like,
it's true. It's like everyone on the internet's just like, oh, like, give the women time. Let the women do something, and then we let them, and the fans are just like, nah, I'm gonna go take a piss. Like, I'll see you guys later. Like, I'm leaving. I'm not staying for the show I fucking paid to come see.
Right?
Like, have you been to a live event?
I've been to a few of them, yeah.
Okay.
They're not my favorite. I prefer to listen to the announcers. But, yeah, I've been to a few.
Okay. Yeah. Do you ever plan on taking Zoe?
Yeah, I may not enjoy it as much, but I'd love to see her see it. You know, like watching her experience new things is like one of my favorite things. It's fucking adorable. It's so cute when she learns shit. It's my fave.
She's precious.
Dude, she's hilarious. She's so weird.
I mean, well, all kids are weird.
No, weird in the greatest sense of the word. Like, she's so dorky, and like I just want to foster that little weirdness and make her a cute little weird kid, because you become an interesting adult when you're a weird kid, you know.
Honestly, I'm writing that down. That's a great quote. It's true though. Like, if you have like the typical cookie cutter childhood, like,
you're boring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
you're boring as shit. But if you have a little spice in there, you got a little talking piece. You got a little trauma here, you got a little humor here, like, you know,
Exactly.
it's just, but like if you think about it, like all of the writers and like all of like actors and stuff who are like the weird theater kid or something like that, look at them fucking now. They're so
Honestly.
interesting. You know, it's so, I always view it like kids think you're weird when you have like a certain hobby. Like
Hmm.
if you're like a horse kid or you're a ballet kid, like, you know the horse girls,
I know
you
the
know.
horse girls.
But they could be owning a whole horse farm and horses are fucking expensive.
Yep.
So they got money there. They could be training horses. That's fucking interesting, you know? So like I want to make sure to nurture her weird interests, her weird hobbies, and make sure that that's what she likes. Fucking go for it.
Uh,
Do it.
See, more. I feel like more parents need to be like that.
Yeah.
Just being like, my kid wants to run around and flip off things. Okay, take that energy, put it in like a gymnastics thing. Don't like try and just
Mm-hmm.
shut them down and be like, "Ayo, stop! You're gonna hurt yourself.
No,
Relax."
pinpoint it towards something positive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like this is why I always thought about it because like I started singing from the time that I could fucking talk. I would be riding my bike up and down the street singing to my neighbors. I didn't have voice lessons until I asked for them in high school.
Wow.
Like you would have thought like, "Oh, she really likes that. Maybe we should do something with it."
It's like,
Like not saying that my parents weren't great and like they did put me in like I was in art classes. I do a lot of art shit. So like I did do some of that, but like there were other things too that could have been, you know, here nudged along.
I get you.
But
Like, for the longest time, I wanted to dance as a kid. Like, the Step Up movies are some of my favorite movies of all time. And, like, it was that
yeah,
type of dance. I didn't want to do, like, the ballets, which, like,
yeah.
realistically, I feel like I could. Like, I have good rhythm because I kind of taught myself how to get good rhythm. But, like, I never got to take a dance class or anything. Also, poor people, shout out. Like, that's definitely, like, one of the big reasons. And my mom did everything she
Yeah.
could. And, like, I begged her, like, every year. And she was just like, I can't, but I'm not gonna like not support you and
Do something.
exactly.
Yeah. Do something for it. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
I
the
heard
difference.
I was in a ballet class. This is so dorky. So my mom put me in ballet, right? And in the town that I grew up in, it was pretty small, predominantly upper middle class white people, and we were not upper middle class. We were lower middle class. But anyway, I was in my ballet class, and we had the July parade, right? So the ballet class is in that. I don't like sweating. When I was a kid, I'm okay with it now because it's a life
It
thing.
happens.
But when I was a kid, I would avoid it at all costs.
Okay.
So I was 5, possibly 4 or 5. I turned around to the lady behind us because she had a wagon, and I stopped in front of her and I was like, "Can I ride in your wagon? I'm tired." My mom's standing right next to me. And this lady's like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." So I finished the parade in this stranger's wagon because I didn't want to walk anymore. So I was that kind of kid.
Honestly, I
I was
love that
like,
though. You just being like,
mm.
I'm tired. Can I get in your wagon?
You're like, "I'm gonna find a solution for this," and she's got a wagon.
It's problem
So
solving. It's problem solving skills at a young
yeah,
age.
I mean, you know what? That's that positivity I'm looking for.
See,
That's that.
I got you.
Hmm.
I got you, Kate. I got you.
That silver lining of my mom's embarrassment. So,
The fact that your mom was probably just like, what the fuck?
and you know what? That's not the only time I've done that. So like, there's there's a couple more stories of me doing shit like that because I didn't want to walk anymore. So,
Listen, when you're a kid, walking sucks.
dude, my mom signed me up for this uh like 5K. Our neighbors across the street, the kid, one of the kids had a brain tumor and he lived in a convalescent home. He was like 10 years older than me. I've known him my whole life. So they were having a 5K like
Yeah.
money raising thing. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't going to do it. My mom signed me up for it and made me go with her, and I dragged ass the entire time because I didn't want to fucking do it until I realized that I was the very last person in this 5K right in front of the cop, just creeping. And I'm like, well, this is fucking embarrassing. So I had knee surgery like the year before,
Oh,
right? So
Jesus.
I was like, I'm gonna just start fucking limping. And then the cop's gonna ask me, are you okay? And then I'm gonna ask for a ride. So that's what I did. And that's what happened. And I finished this 3 mile fucking walk in the back of a cop car because I did not want to walk anymore. And the look on my mom's face when the cop let me out of the back seat, totally fucking worth it. Absolutely worth it. I would do it again just for that look up. Yeah. Right.
I love
I'm the
I love that.
I'm the queen of loopholes. Like my dad would try and punish me and I'd be like, I'd find a way out of it somehow. I'd figure it out.
See, that's that big brain. That's that big brain energy. Like, you
I don't
see
want to do
something,
something. I'm not gonna do
you
it.
figuring it out. You're
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm getting out of this. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Or I'm going, even if I can't, I've come to the age where, like, if I can't get out of it, I'm going to have fucking fun with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get some sort of enjoyment out of this, even though it fucking sucks. So.
I get you. Shit. I could never. Major props. I was just like, yeah, I guess, and like be sad about it, but like, no. That's a way better route. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Or find a way out. And make it entertaining.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. There's plenty of punishments that I got that were like just stupid where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with you on this one then.
It's like, all right,
So.
y'all did this. You're living with it now.
And every time I did it, my dad's face would just be like, fuck, I fucked up. Because he would try and make sure my punishment was like foolproof. So like by the time that I was a teenager, he would be like, all right, you can do this, but you can't do any of this. I'd figure some way to weasel out of it somehow.
You're like
every time.
You're like a Hardy Boy or like a Nancy Drew. You're just trying to like figure your way out of this shit. Just looking for clues. You're like, all right, something's here.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some way out of this shit. Yeah, pretty much.
I love that so
That's
much.
what I do. And like, I can see Zoe starting to do it now, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, see, now it's
Get me.
Now it's like you did it to your parents, she's gonna do it to you.
But I can't wait to see how she does it though. Because I got out of everything, I'm like, I want to see how you figure it out. I really do. I'm excited for it. Strangely enough.
Yeah, most parents are like, oh, I'm dreading my kid be like a teenager and stuff like that. You're just like, bring it on.
Can't fucking wait. I want to see how her brain works. It's so exciting to figure out how she's going to be. And I feel like there's a lot of parents that like they have their kid and they have this whole picture on how they want their child to be and where they want them to be in life. I want to see where the fuck she's going. I'm just gonna follow her.
Yeah, she's leading. You're just following.
Yeah, it's her show, and I'm just making sure like she doesn't bump her head. That's it.
Just baby-proofing everything along the way.
Yeah, I want her to figure it out. We do everything like I make her clean up her, like she'll spill her milk out of her bottle or whatever, so we go and get a paper towel and I make her wipe it up. And if she misses spots, I'm like, no, you gotta do it like this. Like, so we teach her like how to clean stuff. She loves sweeping. She's not very good at it, but she knows how to do it. But like she wants to do everything herself. She wants to put keys and locks and stuff. She's 2. Like, and she wants to do all of this stuff, and I'm like, go for it. She can climb the ladder to the slide by herself, no problem. And those are big steps on that fucking ladder too. And I'm like, yeah, go for it. Do it. If you think you could do it, I think you can too. Let's go.
See, she's just fucking awesome.
I know, she's amazing.
Like she's made a cameo like once or twice, like pandemic days when we all would just be like on Zoom for like hours on end, and I was just like, she's precious. And then I got to meet her. She let me hold her. It was the best day of my life.
She's so friendly. So friendly. It's like we go to the grocery store and she's like, hi to everyone.
And you're just
My
like,
mom
I don't even
takes
like
her for a
people.
walk. Yeah. I don't. That's the thing. And
I
she loves
know.
them. My mom calls her the mayor because she just says hi to everybody. She's the little mayor.
Oh my god. Imagine her in like a little mare costume from like Powerpuff Girls.
The bow tie.
The big bow tie.
Bow tie. I see it. I see it already in my head. Yep.
Uh,
Absolutely.
if there's no Halloween costume in mind for her yet, I would strongly make that a suggestion. Just throwing my 2 cents in there.
You know, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking so like she has one of our friends has a kid that's like a few months younger than her, so we do a Halloween picture every year.
Cute.
And last year they were Chucky and Tiffany.
Uh,
And then this year, I forget their names because I think the movie's overrated, but we're still doing it. So it's the little kid from E.T. and his little sister, the Drew Barrymore thing. And like we have a little tricycle, and I gotta get an E.T. doll to put on it. But yeah, so then we're gonna take our picture with the ET doll and stuff like that.
oh my god.
So that's their Halloween picture, but I don't know what she's gonna be for Halloween. So
Mare from Powerpuff Girls. That's an option.
it is an option. That is an option. I don't think anybody younger than our generation is really gonna understand that, but
That's some of those costumes are like the best though.
yeah, because it's for an adult. It's not like
It's literally like, why is this baby dressed like in a random character from a 90s cartoon?
right, or why is this baby Dr. Evil? Like, this was the last time and you watched Austin Powers.
Why is this baby Dr. Evil? It's not even, the baby's not even Mini-Me, the baby is Dr. Evil.
It's just the baby's Dr. Evil. Yeah. That'd be fucking funny. And then you have like a Dr. Evil doll, so that'd be
Oh my god. That's
oh shit. That's funny.
I love Halloween.
I do too. I love spooky shit. I love it.
In case people weren't watching, that's Matt's background, but it
Yes.
works.
It works. I mean, Matt's a little bit more in your face than I am, but I do. Our shower curtain is a skull with a raven on it. So
That's awesome.
I mean, I picked that out. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, and I love because my mom is a very like I wouldn't say prudish, but prudish kind of. She's not a very like spooky person at all. She's
Okay.
a very like, you know, your average mom from the 90s kind of mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so like every time I do anything, you know, like to my aesthetic, it's always like, that's a little dark, don't you think? It's a little dark. I'm like, it's not dark enough, I don't think. So,
That would be my fucking response too. I feel like it could be darker.
a little bit darker. Yeah, no, that was me growing up, was me trying to fight my love of spooky shit because my mom said it was weird, and I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit.
Hey,
I love spooky shit.
you got a house, you got a
Right?
family, you can do whatever the hell you want. Make it all spooky
You know,
shit.
It's weird when you actually buy your own house, like after renting, where it feels weird, like decorating. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have to put it all back at some point.
You're like,
But we've lived here for like 6 years now. So, like,
you're like, can I put a hole in this wall?
right? Like, is that a good idea? Or should I just not? And then, yeah. So, like, it was within like the last few years where I was like, fuck it, let's do everything. So,
I mean, hell, if I had my own house, hell yeah.
mhm.
All day, every day, new activity, destroying my house.
Dude, yeah. Poor people problem is you can't.
Oh, preach to the choir. Poor people problems.
Poor people problem. That's why there's a hole in my bathroom wall still. So I
Damn.
had to have a plumber come in and do like a whole new pipe thing. So there's still a hole in my bathroom. Whatever.
That's okay. There's a hole in my ceiling in my room, so it is what it is. Poor people problems.
Poor people problems. You know.
I love that so much. It's so true. It's so relatable.
Yeah.
If people can't relate, then that sucks. We
Good
have
for
a great
you, I
time.
guess.
We try.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like every rich person should be super poor first. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think you should be born uber rich.
It's just not fun. It's just not fair.
No. And it's not fair to the person.
Yeah.
you know, because you don't. What are you gonna appreciate if you get everything handed to you?
Yeah, like I bought this PC myself, and it was like the first
Yeah,
like big purchase. It was like $800,
yeah.
and that was all
I
me.
got. I bought a fancy gaming laptop so I could play my games and not have my fucking laptop try and explode.
Yeah.
I spent $1,300 on that goddamn laptop, and it is perfect. And it is the most I've ever really spent on anything just for myself.
Yep.
Like not including like a car or anything like that, but that's just solely for me.
Yeah.
Never spent that much money on myself.
And now
Like,
you can play Sims, and your computer won't explode.
I love the fucking
I know
Sims.
you do.
I love that. I've been playing that shit for like 20 years and I don't even give a fuck. I just got my friend into it too, so my
my
sim minions.
my sister was very much like on the Sims train growing up. So every once in a while, I would like find, because they used to come in like those big ass like thick
Yeah.
cases. I would just like randomly find one. I'm like, when did you buy another Sims game? Like, how many do you own now? Like, where are these coming
All of
from?
them.
She did
All
have a
of
lot.
them.
She
I
did
know.
have
I
a
was
lot.
looking at my account the other day and I was like, are there any expansion packs that I missed? And I was like, oh, no, there wasn't. Oh,
You said,
oops.
well, next game.
Whoops.
Are they on like?
Uh-oh.
Are they on the Sims like 4?
So I think that they're actually coming out with a Sims 5
Oh my god.
sometime, which I don't understand. Just fucking keep updating the thing. Like why do you I don't get it.
Yeah, like
But
what is the
who
point
knows?
of doing like a whole nother game when you can just keep adding like expansion packs and updating it?
So like from Sims 1 to 3, like the whole system would get better. Where
Okay.
like the navigation system, it would be like a big update, like that kind of thing, where
Yeah.
it'd be more stuff that you could use, more accessories, like, you know, different shit like that.
Yeah.
More options for like your life simulation, I guess. And then Sims 4 gave you some more stuff, but then took away like random shit, like you can customize a color on like 1 through 3 on anything. You
Okay.
can just make it whatever color you want. On Sims 4, they're like, here are 4 different choices that you have.
Ew.
Yeah. So like, you know, plus or minus 4 or 5, whatever. But like shit like that. But then it does give you like a bunch of other different stuff where it's like different jobs and like you can go to their job with them and like do their job and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So like it gave more options but took away like the little ones that everybody loved, you know. So there
Gotcha.
are mods that you can put on it to get some of that stuff back and stuff like that. And then like mods for like different jobs, like I've got like a druggie mod where like you can be a drug dealer and stuff and do all these drugs, and I think it's hilarious
That's so
because
funny.
then like if you don't adjust the settings, if like one of your sims becomes like a pothead or some stuff and they're like significant other, it's like I think my spouse is on something, and they're all sad about it. And I'm like, bitch, get over it. It's weed.
Bitch,
So
get
like,
over it.
so stupid shit like that. There's one mod you can put on there that like your sim can get kidnapped.
What
And
the fuck?
yeah, I am part of this Facebook group, and like somebody posted on there the other day. They're like, it has been 5 sim days, and I don't know where my sim is. There's still, when do the kidnapped sims come back? I have to get this fucking mod. It sounds hilarious.
When do
It sounds great.
it's been 5 sim days. That's the best part of that whole sentence is it's been
Right.
5 sim days.
Where is this person? Like, there's one that I have that's like extreme violence mod where you could just become a serial killer,
Honestly,
which is hilarious.
I
It's
feel like
also
I've
pretty
seen
funny.
every once in a while like a Sims TikTok will pop up on my feed, and there was one this girl would just make like she would take characters from like shows or movies and she would make them in Sims, and she would turn on like the extra violence
Yeah.
mod and then just see who's left standing in that group
Who kills who? Yeah.
and like how
Yeah,
they kill them.
I saw one that was all Disney princesses. And
Yes.
Pocahontas won. Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
watched that one. That one was hilarious. That's what made me get that mod where I was like, I need that. I need to find that. I need to know what that is because that's funny as shit.
That's
So like the first day that I got them out, I had this family, and this guy goes to the bar, and this chick turns him down, so he just kills everyone in the bar. And I was like, well, that was fun. So
it's like GTA. You just run
pretty
over
much, yeah.
pedestrians.
You just, you know, walk around,
Shoot
shank people. Yeah, just keep walking.
That's
Like,
it's just the and then they just fall.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I just saw a tweet the other day. It was like, I need to drive around in GTA for 30 minutes running over innocent pedestrians to cool me down. And I was like,
Yeah.
honestly, kind of a mood.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel it. Yeah. I've been there.
I've been there. Been there a few times.
Been there. Been there. Yeah.
Been there. Done that. We'll do it again. So, these, like, next 3 questions I ask everybody because I just love hearing everyone's answers. So, if you could have a dinner, right? It's just you and then 3 other wrestling people, wrestling personalities, whoever, dead or alive, who are you picking?
China's definitely one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Probably. Yeah, you know what? Becky and then fucking Drew McIntyre, just so I can listen to him talk. That's basically it. That accent kills me. I love accents. And look at Drew McIntyre. I mean, who wouldn't want to have dinner with that man? Fuck.
Literally, it's every time he comes on screen in jeans and no shirt, I'm like, you know your audience.
I don't care what the fuck he's wearing. I don't give a shit. Don't care. Don't care. Could be dressed as Ronald McDonald. I don't give a shit.
That'd be a little terrifying. A buffed up Ronald McDonald, I'd be a little scared.
Yeah, it depends on how you do it.
If he doesn't do the makeup,
I mean, if you have a thing with clowns, then yeah, definitely not. But like,
you're like,
be done. Could be done correctly. You never know.
I mean, Halloween's coming up. I guess we'll see. What if we manifested this? Drew McIntyre will be dressed up as Ronald McDonald.
I'm putting it out into the universe right now.
Putting out the witch vibes. Drew McIntyre will be Ronald McDonald for Halloween.
Please, please, please. It's hilarious.
And then, if you could write an autobiography on your life to this point, or just a specific part of your life, what would be the title? And if you want to tell me why you chose that title.
It'll probably be my TikTok handle, which is Cait is not great.
I love that.
I've had a long history of mental health issues my entire life. So, I mean, it's an up and, as anybody with mental health issues knows, it's up and down and it's over and across. And some days are great, some days are shit. Some years are great and some years are shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Cait is not great, but I'm here. So
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's the big victory right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I can remember being 5, laying in bed at night and praying that I wouldn't wake up the next morning.
Wow.
Like, what 5-year-old thinks of that shit? So like, I knew from then it wasn't just environmental or anything like that because my life was normal. You know, it wasn't anything special.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's been my entire life. I have cyclothymia, which is on the bipolar spectrum. So it's like cyclothymia, bipolar 2, bipolar 1. And it's basically just a mood disorder. I cannot regulate my moods very well at all, or decipher what they are sometimes. So super fun. It's a wild ride over here at the Ridder house. So
it's a nice roller coaster happening over there. Mm-hmm. Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Super fun.
You're like, yeah, woo.
Wee. I was even like, my mom was telling me the other day because I was like in a downswing and she was like, I wish there was something that I could do. And I was like, bro, if I knew what anyone could do, I would have done it 25 years ago.
Exactly.
Like, it's not, I'm like, I wish more than anything that I could have a normal brain and my brain could just regulate itself and be awesome, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a long time for me to be okay with being not well,
Yeah.
you know, because I used to refuse to take medication for it for a long time because it was just another reminder that I'm sick, that
Yeah.
I'm not normal, that I need something to be a productive member of society and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And now it's to the point where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I do need that. I do need it. And I'd rather be upfront with people and say, hey, yeah, mental health sucks. I wanted to die for most of my life. I'm okay now ish.
I'm okay.
Like,
Yeah.
okay ish. You know, it's an up and down battle. And it's just, it is what it is, you know? And I hope, knowing what I know with everything that I've been through, is that if my daughter has any issue whatsoever, I can recognize it and we can get help and we can be open about it.
Yeah.
It's like I remember going to the hospital and like going to like a family party after I got out and all of that stuff, and people telling my mom how sorry they were for her. But this was, you know, early 2000s too. It wasn't, you know, depression wasn't really talked about.
Yeah.
Suicide wasn't really talked about. If you went to the therapist, something was wrong with you, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Um, and so yeah, I remember sitting there and my mom would be telling people like, "Oh yeah, we went this happened or that happened." And be like, "I'm so sorry you had to go through that." And I'm like, "Bitch, I was the one in the fucking hospital.
It's
I'm
like
the
I
one
was the
that
one who
wanted to
went
die."
through it.
Like, okay, but all right. And like I don't hold it against anybody. Like it's just it was how it was. But
It was that time, yeah.
right. But it was from that moment when anybody ever asked me about it, I would be uberly blunt about it because I enjoyed the look on people's faces when I love a good shock value. Honestly, I love good shock value. Um, I will live and die by a shock value. And, um, but I don't want to feel ashamed about it, and I don't want anybody to pity me for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, it is what it is. It's how my brain works, and I have to correct it.
Yeah. And with like how more how am I trying to phrase this? With how open people are now with talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if something like with Zoe, if that ever like you could see the
Oh yeah,
signs a lot quicker.
and there's way more opportunity
Exactly.
and places to go. You know, it's not
Mm-hmm.
like we had to search for a therapist. I had to go into the emergency room to know where to go. Like,
It's crazy.
so yeah, so it's just shit like that. And I mean, had friends from high school kill themselves and shit like that, like as I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
growing up, you know. So like it wasn't unheard of, but it was very hush,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I remember because I love to write, and in one of my English classes, it was like write a vignette or whatever. So it was like a couple weeks after I'd been back from the hospital. So I wrote about my first hospital experience, and to get extra credit, you could read it out loud, right? I honestly don't remember thinking about anybody else's reaction to my story,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember finishing reading and then I looked up at the class and everyone's just staring at me. And I'm like, probably shouldn't have fucking read that one out loud. Probably should have done that. And then like, you know, and it was 2005, 2004. So like, I had a weird rap in high school when they know you go into the mental hospital. So like, it
Yep.
was a wild ride after that, especially after the second time I went too. So
You're like
that was fun,
guys, want to hear something wild? I won again.
right? I went twice. But like, and I think about that if I had done that now in now's culture, like Gen Z's high school culture, I think I would have been fucking praised for it,
Oh, you
for
definitely
going
would
to
have.
get help. Yeah, like it would have been a complete opposite. So I'm not really worried about like Zoe or if any other kids that we may or may not have any of these issues, I'm not worried about their friends making fun of them for it.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like that's one thing in like high school and like with kids nowadays that I'm not worried about.
Mm-hmm.
At least, you know, cross my fingers. But you know, yeah.
I yeah, it's definitely way different. Even when I was in high school, which wasn't, it was like long ago, but wasn't that long ago. It was like, yeah, people started like being more open and talking about that kind of stuff. And I think everybody should have a therapist.
Oh yeah.
If they weren't so expensive, up. Yes. That is the worst part about it. Like, would I love to have a therapist? Of course. You know who I go to? My friends.
For that. Yeah. There are options for that. Like teaching schools, usually you can get therapy for pretty cheap from like kids that are learning to be therapists.
That's smart.
There's online therapy now that's pretty cheap too. That's like therapy on fucking demand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like there are great options nowadays too, where you don't just have to. But yeah, like if you go to like a place, it's fucking expensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who go, and then they're just like, I sat there for an hour. We talked about one thing, and now I'm down $300. I'm like, see, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Poor
especially if you don't have insurance too. Like,
I do not.
Yeah.
I just hit the age where I am no longer under my mom's, so like, I'm going solo right now.
Yeah, there were a few years I didn't have insurance for a while. That one was good.
It's important problems.
Yeah, and then you have to get an X-ray on something, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna look into getting this insurance thing. That one was fun. That was a $700 bill that I could not afford for something I knew what had happened.
See,
like, yeah, I dislocated it. It's great. They're like, well, we need an X-ray to confirm. I'm like, all right, but that's what I did.
It's like, all right, guys, rude. It's like I got an X. Like the first time I got an X-ray, I smashed my hand last year at work, but it was at work, so it was workman's comp, and I didn't have to pay for shit.
Nice.
And I was like,
nice.
It was right before I went to Vegas for the first time, and I would like. I had a boxer's knuckle. I bruised tendons in my hand.
Ooh.
And that's from, like, repeated motions. This was just me holding onto something metal and a metal door smashing my hand.
Yeah.
It bruised. I was, like, shaking. I was at work for 15 minutes.
Aww.
I was like, this. I couldn't even drive home because they had to give me a painkiller. So my mom had to, like, come get my car. It was a mess. I was like, I hate her.
My favorite workman comp story is my buddy... He worked at this grocery store out here called it's called Caputo's. It's an Italian grocery store, so they have a huge like deli section, right? So they had him go upstairs and like above the deli section or some shit. He stepped wrong and went through the ceiling right behind the deli counter. So, and there were people ordering their deli meat at the counter. So all they see is just like my 250-pound buddy just go like out of the fucking ceiling.
Oh my God.
It was the funniest story I've ever heard, and I just can't stop picturing somebody getting their fucking like
just trying to get their salami shit. And they just see a man
salami
fall
and they're
through
just
the
like
ceiling.
Yeah,
that's something out of a sitcom.
Fine. I don't think he broke anything that time.
Wow, that time.
I think he just. Yeah, I think he just kind of like hit his head pretty hard, but yeah. Yes.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. So that was good.
Love that. All right, Cait, it's your turn. You get to ask me questions now.
Excellent.
She's been waiting. She's been waiting to ask me questions.
I have. I tried to think of random ones that no one would ever really ask you.
Okay.
So the first question is, what is your go-to order from Subway?
Ooh, okay. So for the longest time when I was a kid, it would just be the classic meatball marinara, because like that's what my brother would get and like my mom would get. So I was just like,
I still get that.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Mm-hmm.
And then for a long time, it was the oven roasted chicken I'd get that, and then I would switch between like the provolone or the American, and then just some lettuce and some ranch. And then recently, it's just been, and I don't get Subway often. I literally have a Subway like across the street, but like I don't.
There's one half a mile from my house, and I've never been in it.
It's like I have one within walking distance, like across the street, and I just don't really go anymore because then that requires me crossing the main road, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
I get it's like chicken bacon ranch.
Okay.
So it's just like the oven roasted chicken. It's basically like what I would get before, except I'm adding bacon.
Right.
Because bacon is life.
I mean, who doesn't love bacon? Really?
Vegans? Vegetarians?
I mean, I'm sure that they try like Impossible Bacon, so everyone loves bacon. They still want to taste bacon.
True. I like that answer. I like that response. You're right.
Everyone loves bacon.
Everyone loves bacon.
They just don't know it. I had a buddy who he was dating this chick. She was from I forget the country, but she was Muslim, right? So she didn't eat meat. So when she stopped being Muslim, she was like, I want to try this bacon shit that everybody's talking about. She went and she got a bacon sandwich from goddamn Wendy's, and then was all like, I don't like bacon. And it's like, of course you fucking don't, because you got it from Wendy's.
You like, why would you just go and get a Baconator? Like, just like buy some
fucking bacon. So every time somebody's like everyone loves bacon, I think of her, and I'm like, she doesn't love bacon.
It's because she made the wrong choice.
I know where you are, and you don't love bacon. Glad you're not dating my friend anymore, you bacon hater.
Bacon hater. That's her sandwich. It's not a Baconator, it's a bacon hater.
Bacon hater. I had a Baconator the other day. It was delicious.
Actually, I did too.
So good.
It's pretty good.
So good. But I have to be in the mood for a shit ton of bacon, you know?
I get you.
All right. What is your weirdest celebrity crush?
Oh, God. My weirdest one. I really gotta think about
that. Right? That's a good one.
That's a very good one. I mean, most of the time it's like the men who are like in their 40s and looking real good, like Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal, like, and they're all superheroes
weird,
too.
though.
I know.
Mine
like those are my typical.
Is Alec Baldwin? That's weird.
Alec Baldwin? Really?
Alec Baldwin. I don't know what the fuck it is about that man. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's a weird one, because he's an older man, but he's not. He's good looking, but he's not like Oscar Pascal. You know, like yeah,
I love them.
Or Idris Elba, like,
bro. Honestly, just melt.
I would die if that man said hello to me.
Big mood. Now I gotta try and think of one. I definitely have weird ones. Like, I know I do. But like, for some reason,
everyone does.
Nothing is. There's nothing up here. Let's be real. This brain is there's nothing inside the skull.
You're like, I told you it was a good one.
It is a very good one. Fuck. I'm just trying to think of like actors that I really love. I literally can't even think of a single fucking person. What the fuck is this? Is terrible.
We can go to my next one.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Also, well, if we need to, I'll come back to that and I'll just think harder.
Have you, since we're at spooky season, have you ever seen a ghost?
I don't know if I've seen one, but I've definitely like been around a few. Like spooky shit. I will always remember me, my brother, and my sister. I don't even know how old I was. We were downstairs in our living room or in our dining room. Like, our dining room like is connected to our kitchen, and the three of us were just dicking around or whatever, and we had cereal on top of a cabinet. There was no fan on, no breeze coming from the AC, nothing. Box of cereal just fucking tips over. All three of us look, and then look at each other, and I'm like, I'm going upstairs. I'm not fucking with this right now. I have shit happen at work all the time where, like, one of the things, like a paper towel holder, just opens.
Yeah.
I call him Gary the Ghost. I named him.
Yeah.
Makes it fun. And I'm always just like, something's gonna happen, and it's Gary's fault. And it usually does happen, and it's always Gary's fault. But I would love to see a ghost.
I've seen one that that I have a clear fucking view of him, but it was weird because like, in my childhood house, there was my mom's room right there. There was a landing, like the stairs down to the kitchen area, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm on that landing and I'm talking to her, and she's like, "Can you get me a drink?" And I look down to the stairs, and like I look back, and there was just a little boy, just standing on my stairs, like total newsy garb, like he's got the little fucking hat and shit, and like the little like pants and stuff. And it was just like a split second, but he was there on my stairs, just going up the stairs looking at me. So, and it was within that 2 week period, I was sleeping in my room, and in my dream, like the door was cracked open a bit, and this guy comes in and he busts into my room in the same like time period clothes as the little boy, and like picks me up by the neck and is like, "It's all your fault, you did this to us," and blah blah blah. And like, I wake up and my door is in the same position, I'm in the same position, everything is the same, except the dude never comes in, right? So like, I'm obsessed with spooky shit.
Yeah.
So I do a whole research bullshit about this,
Yep.
because I need to know stuff now. And like, our town is small, but it's an old town, right? So like, I go to like our city hall and I'm looking at all the records. Our subdivision was called Brook Farm,
Okay.
and coincidentally there's a little brook that goes through half of the subdivision, right? There used to be a farm on that subdivision that was the farm's land, and it burned down, so with children in it.
Oh God.
So there's that. There's also been like, we had the Bartlett Examiner, our like town newspaper. People would send in like pictures of ghosts. There's a one that I distinctly remember of my friend's backyard, them jumping on a trampoline and a little girl jumping with them that wasn't there. And like, full body apparition
I got
kind of
chills.
shit. Full
Oh,
body thing. My aunt is a medium. I
What?
have had prophetic dreams before. Nothing cool, just random shit. Where like, literally minute by minute is the same as my dream. Just the same exact thing. Where I've pointed things out in real life and like, that's gonna do that. And like, it's the weirdest fucking thing.
That's so cool.
I had, yeah. I mean, one was my friend losing a bet that he couldn't smoke a cigar in a half an hour. So I mean, like, yes and no. They're not cool things, but it's cool that it kind of happens. I can't control it though. Never been able to control it. It just kind of happens.
I,
But
Cait,
yeah, my
you
aunt's
might be a
medium,
witch.
so I'm not denying that. There's a lot of weird shit that has happened with the females on my dad's side, so it's not.
See,
It's
see.
very strange. It's strange. So,
I would love to
but
see
yeah,
a ghost though.
it's weird.
Like, I feel like I see shit all the time, and like I second guess myself, but I feel like they're just like super quick that I've never like sat and like fully processed it, because I feel like I see shit all the time. Or
We've
I
seen
might just
like
be crazy.
shadows in our house. Like, Matt's seen them, where it's like one spot in our house where it's like somebody's walking past a window, but there's nobody there, and nobody does anything. But like, there's been points where like, I've and it's been like this my entire life, where like, I feel like somebody's behind me, like somebody's always watching me,
Yeah.
on like literally like this side of my shoulder, every fucking time, all the time. Sometimes it gets really like heavy, and I'm like, I will literally stand there and go, "Just leave me alone, just leave me alone," and it'll get less heavy, but it's
Well,
still there. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's always been like that. And I've asked several members of my family, like, "Do you just feel like somebody's following you all the time?" And only the women on my dad's side are feeling like, "Yeah." I'm
yep.
like, "Cool, cool, great, guys, awesome.
You're like, wow, love this. Thanks,
This
everybody.
is fun." And then like, so yeah, because then my aunt got really into the medium like aspect a few years ago, like during COVID, and like, I was talking to her about it, and she's like, "Well, you know all of this stuff already," and I was like, "No, the fuck I don't. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "You know it," and just walked away. And I'm like, "This bitch!
I'd be
I
like,
swear to God,
I'd be like,
like,
come back here, you crappy
teach
bitch.
me your witchy ways." Like, I want to be a witch. But no, and I've always been obsessed with witches. I love it. I love them.
Yeah, like I'm going to Salem
So
Halloween
interesting.
weekend.
So fucking, so fucking jealous. Also, Matt's sister and her husband are going there too.
Oh,
Actually,
I have a friend who's
that
going
weekend.
that weekend. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
went like pandemic time. We went on Halloween, and like a lot of shit
Oh,
was
really?
closed, and it was weird.
Yeah.
It was my first
Yeah.
time in Salem. And now it's just like me and my friend who I went with last time and her sister, and she was just like, impromptu trip to Salem Halloween weekend. I was like, bet I'm in. Say
Yeah.
less, say
Well, and
fucking
you
less.
guys are so close to it too. You're so much closer. How far away is it for you?
I think when I looked at the map, it's like 9.5 hours.
Really? Oh, I thought it was a lot closer.
Well, last time we like stopped in Scranton for the night and
Oh,
then we
okay.
drove. But this we're leaving at like 6 a.m. on Friday to like get there and then like do
Yeah.
a little bit of spoopiness on Friday. But then all day
Yeah.
Saturday is spooky time.
Spooky, spooky, spooky.
Spooky
That's
time.
awesome.
Very
I'm
excited.
so jealous. And then, like, yeah, you said 9 hours, and I think I just realized that I think the East Coast is like this, but really some of it's like this. So,
I mean, from one side of Pennsylvania to the other, so like from me to Philly is like 5.5 hours.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's not bad.
So I'll be doing that for Mania in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is an 18-hour drive for us to get to New York. So, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Hmm.
Oh damn.
Although, funny thing, my parents are taking a day trip to Michigan today, so
Damn. Okay.
go figure.
How much day you
Michigan's
gotta
not that.
have?
If you go around the lake, it's not. It's like whoop. It's
Oh,
not that
that's
far.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been to Michigan.
I did a midnight ride to the border of Michigan and then back for shits and giggles when I was like in my early 20s. So
Love things for shits and giggles.
for no fucking reason.
That's okay.
So yeah, yeah,
That
it
works.
was all right. Yeah,
I'm
I
still,
think that was
I'm still trying to think about that weird,
the
the
your
weird
weird
celebrity.
crush.
I'm gonna cheat and go see if like who I follow on like Instagram and go from there.
Yeah,
Cause like there's gotta be somebody weird, and if there's
yeah.
not, then I don't
Well,
have the
and
same
it's like
taste as everybody.
I didn't think Alec Baldwin was weird for a long time until Matt was like, "Yeah, that's really fucking weird."
He's like,
I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, it's kind of weird. Um, no, cause like Florence Pugh's gorgeous. I mean, these it's kind of weird, but like people also just really find him attractive. It was the actor from Euphoria. He played Fezco, but like he's not
okay."
like he's like ginger beard, ginger hair,
Yeah,
not
he's
like
not the atypical like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it was. I was like, okay, Fezco,
Okay.
cute. It was more so just like he was just so caring, and I was just like, oh, see,
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's
I still have yet to watch that show.
honestly, it's pretty. You have like another year until the next season comes out.
Yeah, I'm weird where like if it gets super hyped and I don't watch it like right before it gets super hyped, I don't want anything to do with it.
I didn't watch the first season until like right before the second season came out. I also just
Yeah,
didn't have HBO Max.
true. I
But
only have like
then
fucking everything.
stayed with my friend for the weekend, and she was just like, "All right, we're gonna watch this." And I was like, "I'm in." And then she gave me her HBO Max account that I still use to this day, and
Excellent.
I got to watch Euphoria every Sunday and cry my eyes out on a few episodes because I'm emotional. And now I have to fucking wait for the next season. Like, this is why I can't do shows like this, though, when they're
Dude,
popular, because then I have to wait.
meet. I started watching Outlander like at the beginning of the pandemic when it was on Netflix and stuff like that. And now I am stuck waiting for the next season. And I just can't fucking wait. I love that show so fucking much.
Like,
so much.
It's the same thing with like Stranger Things. Like I even like waited a little bit to watch season 4, and I still gotta wait like 2 years.
I'm not a huge Things fan. Like, it's a fine show. It's
fair.
Okay. Season 4 is definitely my favorite. I don't know why. It's definitely my fucking favorite. Although Mike, I hate. I hate that actor. I hate that kid. Like, I hate his character. He's the worst. Yeah. He's the fucking worst.
I was like, if
I could have done without them.
I was like, if any of the the main kids die, I want it to be Mike.
Oh yeah, he's so irritating, and like I've seen that kid in like interviews too. He's so fucking arrogant. Like,
yeah, it's because he's a child actor who literally made it big. He's one of like the more recent ones because he was probably like
gross.
12, if that, when the first season of Stranger Things was filmed. And then he was in
parents let him drink his own Kool-Aid.
Oh, for sure. Kids been drinking his own Kool-Aid for years. He sucks.
No. Yeah, I'm not a fan. And that's pretty much why I hate watching it sometimes, where I'm like, or I drag my feet to watch it, because I'm like, I fucking hate staring at this kid's face.
Yeah.
And everybody loves him. I hate him.
I hate Mike. Like, I got your back.
I know you do. I know. Thank God.
No, Mike's probably I was just sitting here watching and I was just like, I fucking hate this kid.
Brady's the worst.
I was like, season 1, I'll let it slide. You're looking for your friend. I'll let you slide. Second season, slowly growing intolerable. Third season, I was like, you're a teenager now. You want to break up with Elle because she's weird and she wants to actually spend time with you. God forbid. The girl didn't have human contact, good human contact for the longest time. And then you're going to try and take that away from her? And then in season 4, he's just an asshole.
Fucking moron.
I hate that kid.
Yeah, no, I hate him. Not a fan.
Not a fucking
Not
fan.
Not a fan. Mm-mm.
Do you have a favorite character from season 4?
Eddie. Obviously. And it's funny because if have you seen the thing on TikTok where it's they mashed up the song, or whatever? It gets stuck in my head all the fucking time.
Chrissy, wake up.
I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up. It'll just be randomly in my head all the time. It's ridiculous.
It's all the time, and because again, I waited to watch it. And then I was just like, why does this keep fucking popping up on my For You page? And then I watched it and I was like, Chrissy, wake up. And my sister's name is Chrissy. So I just shouted at her. We went to it was my niece's birthday party. So it was her daughter's birthday party. And she was across the room and I was like, Chrissy. And then I was like, Chrissy, wake up. I screamed it and she turned around. I was like, yeah, that got your attention, didn't it, bitch?
That's so cute. That's adorable. I love that shit. It's stuck in my head constantly. Whoever did that is a fucking genius.
They really are. It's TikTok. They really just take shit and run.
Yeah. It was great.
TikTok.
It was great. It was perfect.
Yeah, so I feel like it's back to the part. I feel like his name's Angus Cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's a great name.
Super Scottish, that's what that is.
But he's not though.
That's so fucking cute. But he's a redhead?
Yeah, he's a little ginger kid. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's Scottish or Irish. That's for sure.
He doesn't have the accent though, which I love.
Did you know?
Oh.
That. I got random facts.
I love random facts.
The majority of the red hair mutation comes from Scottish or Irish lineage. So if you have the red hair gene or you have red hair in you, you have somewhere along the line you have Scottish or Irish in you.
Fuck yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did my 23andMe.
Yeah.
And I am Irish a little bit. Irish and Italian. That was my main two. I was like, oh yeah, I knew.
75% Scottish, Irish, and English. That's basically it. And I should have known because my dad had a red beard.
Oh, same.
And so, but yeah. Yeah, and I love doing that. And it was funny because, like, my maiden name is Smith, right? So, like, when I tried to do the ancestry, like, my dad was always told he was Native American and Irish, which he was not Native American, but there was a weird side story on one of his ancestors with the Native Americans. So I think that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Where, like, his ancestor was, like, trading with them or something like that.
Okay.
Something was going on with them. But yeah, after that, it's just Scottish. He's just Scottish.
Just go.
Pretty much Scottish and English. That's pretty much it.
I love that though. I love learning.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's great.
It's so
And
cool.
like my mom never really talked to her parents about like where they were from or anything like that. Like her mom's dad, her mom's dad was born in Ireland. And she didn't know.
Wow.
She's second generation American and she didn't even know.
Damn.
And she's 69 this year. So she never knew that her grandfather was from Ireland because she never asked her grandmother or her mom. Never
That's
asked
crazy.
her mom. Like, why wouldn't you? I don't get it.
I ask
But
questions
she
like that
knew
shit all
that-
the time.
All the time. All the time. My mom doesn't know anything though. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's like I only can go off like my mom's side of the family because like dad's a scumbag, so I don't know anyone on that side of the family.
Right.
So it's just like,
And it's funny too because like I watch all these TikToks where like people from like Ireland or Scotland or whatever would be like, oh, you're 1/16 Scottish, like, oh, great for visiting, whatever. But they don't seem to realize that when our Scottish and Irish ancestors came over, they were scum. They couldn't get jobs because of their accents.
Yeah.
There were signs on doors, no wops, no mix.
mm-hmm.
So like you couldn't get a job, so you dropped your accent, you dropped your entire culture, and then you raised generations of people who don't know who they are or where they came from.
Yeah.
So then when they do find out and they're like, I'm 16% this, and they're all excited about it, you go to the country and all the fucking your ancestral countrymen just shit on you. Like,
yeah,
it's so frustrating. So frustrating. I really want to be like, I'm so confrontational. I want to go to Scotland. Someone asked me like, "Oh, how much percent are you?" And I'm like, "Fucking 30, first of all. So fuck you."
First of all, you don't even get to say anything. Just start throwing hands.
Right. Second of all, here's a history lesson for you.
It's like, sit
So
your
I
ass down.
guarantee-
I'm about to teach you a lesson.
Right. So I bet anything that my mom's grandfather just didn't talk about it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Which,
So, and
yeah.
I think he died when my grandmother was young too. So, like, I don't think she really knew much about him anyway.
yeah.
But she probably would have remembered his accent, at least.
Yeah, like, you gotta remember at least
He
that.
sounded like he didn't sound American. That was for sure.
Like, he didn't sound like how we do.
No. Yeah, I'm full of fun facts. I swear.
I
love it.
I love facts.
I got a lot of them. It's ridiculous. And they do nothing for me other than make people think that you're smart when you're really not, and you just know one fact.
Like, I have said on numerous occasions, there's no actual information up here. It's just random facts I have learned and acquired over the years, useless
Thrown them
information, movie quotes, TV show quotes, and song lyrics.
Pretty much.
That's all it's in this.
Pretty much. And things that I watch on documentaries.
Ah, love documentaries.
Yeah.
Serial killer
I'm starting
documentaries?
to get into them. I started watching one yesterday. I only got through like one episode. I think it was on Peacock, but it was basically about like the conspiracy theories and how easily it is to get people hooked on conspiracy theories, and like, so it was going through like the QAnon conspiracies and like deep state shit, and it's just people will believe anything.
Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh yeah, my favorite one, and this is like, it's the only one that I semi can be like, okay, maybe, but it's the Paul McCartney conspiracy.
Okay.
Where Paul McCartney is actually dead. So back in, I forget how it started, but back in like, I think it was the 60s or the 70s, there was a Paul McCartney look-alike contest.
Okay.
And I haven't read it in a long time, so I might be getting the names wrong. But Billy Shears is a character in one of the songs on Sgt. Pepper's album.
Okay.
Billy Shears is supposedly the guy that won the look-alike contest. There's also a Beatles song about that Paul McCartney sings about dying in a car accident. So that's
Okay.
supposedly because he was in a car accident at some like before that song came out. So then that song comes out and they're like, "Oh, Paul McCartney died in this and now Billy Shears is actually Paul McCartney." So like that's basically the thing and there's like different, conspiracy shit. They build it to make it,
Mm-hmm.
look like that. Where I'm like it's kind of convincing. Kind of convincing. I know it's not true. Like I'm not stupid. But like, you know, eh,
I've never heard that one. That one's interesting to
yeah,
me. Like I've heard like the
that
Avril
one's really
Lavigne
interesting.
one, where
Avril Lavigne. Is Avril Lavigne dead?
that's what people think. Yeah, people
Hmm.
think she died. Oh God, see, that's another one. Like I haven't read it or looked at it in a while. It's like
Yeah.
her grandmother was sick or something, and she was like super close to her grandmother. So a lot of people think after her grandma died, she took care of
Yeah.
herself in that way. And then there is a new person for like blonde Avril Lavigne whenever she did like Girlfriend and stuff like that. So they
Yeah.
thought it was a new like everyone's just like, oh, it's like she's Avril Lavigne now. This is a new person that they got, and people have taken pictures from like Avril Lavigne when like Complicated came out versus like now, and like her nose is
Yeah.
different and her face looks different. I'm like, first of
Yeah,
all,
'cause
she
she's
also has like
old now.
she also I think has like Lyme's disease or something.
Yeah, she had Lyme disease. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that aging is a thing. Like people don't look like
Hmm.
this forever,
Yeah.
and people literally just like take that shit and go. Same thing with like Lady Gaga. It there are
Yeah.
so many.
Speaking of people getting older, there was like this. I was bitching about it to my mom because there was like a picture like comparison with Jennifer Aniston before and like now, and
Mm.
it's like she hasn't aged at all. I'm like, bitch, look at her face. Of course she has. She's got crow's feet. Her lips aren't the same. Like, fuck, dude.
She still looks
She's
good,
like,
but
yeah. I mean, she looks decent, but I mean, like, yeah, like,
she
I hate it. I'm very exact with a lot of things. So if it's not, you can't get by me. I'm like, yeah, no, you're wrong. Like,
it's
that's not right.
like
Matt hates it.
no. I
I'm
mean,
very
that's
exact.
okay.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
live with it. Oh well.
pretty much. Yeah,
You're
sucks
always
to
right.
suck, bro.
See, he thinks he's right all the time. It's actually you.
I let him think that. You know, happy wife, happy life. You know,
I
so
got
I
you.
let him think it, and then we just keep going. Manipulation 101.
And you know what? I feel like that is the perfect place to end this. The Manipulation
I think
101.
so too. I think so too. I think so too.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much, Cait, for sitting
Very
down
welcome.
and
Thanks for having me on.
talking to me. Of course.
Of course, of course.
Of course. Like this was in the making once we were on the 5-year show together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We were just
Absolutely.
like, so we gonna sit down and talk, or what's going on here?
Absolutely. This was a lot of fun. This is super cute. I love it.
Oh my god, thank you. I really tried. This has been like the most just like conversational one I've had, which
Yeah.
I love because I'm not just like I was like, oh, I have like questions that like I can ask, but like I don't necessarily have to ask them.
And I love talking. So like there's
Hey,
I'll talk about anything. So
do you want to tell people where, like, if you would like them to follow you on any social media?
you can follow me on Twitter. I think it's the Cait Ridder on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. So if you can find me, good for you.
TikTok?
TikTok is Cait is not great. There's really nothing on there, but you can see like I think the last one I did was about my pumpkin. So it's really not that interesting.
I love that. I love it so much. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah. You might get a cameo of Matt on my TikTok, maybe. So you have that to look forward to, I guess.
You said I guess. And then, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at CaitRidder13. Link to your bio, take all things ShElite Showcase. Twitch.tv/ShElite Showcase. Typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, unless something happens. YouTube.com/ShElite Showcase. I say watch videos because they are way more entertaining. Like, and you get to see my face and me moving my hands a lot. That's the Italian in me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Matt always makes fun of me. He, like, mocks me. I'm like, enough. You do it too.
Oh, please. Yeah. Italian to Italian. Jesus Christ.
Honestly. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts if you want to listen. Everything's on the channel. I've done so much shit in a year on this channel. Everything's there. So go check it out. And again, thank you so much, Cait, for doing this. You know what? Fuck it. We might just have to do me and you every once in a while, like once a month, just talking and making a podcast.
Yeah, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not?
If you're down, I'm
this
down.
Is nice. Put it on my schedule.
We're gonna talk. Y'all will
talk to my people.
Yeah, we'll talk to
my scheduler.
My people. We'll get back to your people. We'll figure it out.
Thank you. I loved it. Matt was like, "Okay, Saturday 1." I'm like, "All right, cool." I didn't have to do anything.
Exactly.
Like, this is when you're doing it. I'm like, perfect.
It all works. It all works.
Yeah.
You just gotta sit there, look pretty, and talk, and you already do that. So
yeah, I do it really well. So.